are King's Chapel and King's Chapel Burial Ground. King's Chapel Burial Ground was built in 1630 and was the only burial ground in Boston for 30 years. King's Chapel was built in 1749, long after the burial grounds were created. This is because when King's Chapel was built, Governor Andros simply took the burial ground belonging to Isaac Johnson and built a chapel on top of it because no other chapel-worthy land was up for sale. Though the church and burial ground are next to one another and share the same name, they have no other correlation with one another. King's Chapel was the first Anglican church in New England and later became the first Unitarian church in New England. And unlike most Anglican and Unitarian churches, King's Chapel never had a steeple. Due to excessive expenses, the beautiful steeple that was planned to top King's Chapel never became a reality. Though the church lacks a steeple, the burial grounds next door is filled with historic people. A fraction of these people include James Abercrombie, a British general and commander, John Winthrop, the first governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, Mary Chilton, the first recorded woman to step on Plymouth Rock, and William Dawes, a companion of Paul Revere during the Midnight Ride. King's Chapel also has a very rich history. One example would be the effects Evacuation Day had on the church. Evacuation Day was the day George Washington drove all the British and a lot of Loyalists out of Boston. One of these Loyalists was the vicar serving at the church at that time, and he took with him a lot of stolen property from the church, and nothing other than the organ capitals were ever found. Another example of King's Chapel's rich history would be King's Chapel was once wooden, but granite was built up around the chapel, and the wood was taken out through the windows. With the exception of the columns that support King's Chapel, they remain wooden but are painted to look like granite.